Exactly, Brainy, exactly. Jesus. Why are you up so early, Brainy? And yeah, it's evening for me. How are you doing, dude? Congrats, Honora. I mean, yeah, I fucking feel Brainy. Ah, I see you never went to sleep. I see how it is. Yeah, I would have started early, but I got distracted watching something with some friends, and then my innards decided to stage a rebellion. And so here I am now. I just added this to the fucking playlist too. Fantastic. I was watching, I've been showing some friends Overlord, Honora. And we are 2 episodes from the end of Season 3. Also, my phone was... Where did I put my phone? There's my phone. My phone was dead and I need some time for it to recharge. I say slamming the mic with my phone. Really, I liked Season 3. Well, parts of Season 3. The Tomb Raid was definitely a low point. But I like the last arc, at least. I guess Honora, but to be fair, he was never the good guy? And they never tried making allusions to that. That is one of my favorite songs from Persona 4 right there, and I still can't play it during the Persona streams, because it's not for a while.
Nine a winner, pay the front line, take the don'ts. He's coming out again for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. 4-4's the point, mark 4. Ace, deuce, scrap, mark 4. Ace, deuce,
No, Marathian, not even remotely. How dare you?
Ace, deuce, scrap, mark 4. Ace, deuce, ace, want 4. Scrap want 4. Who wants the hard 4? 5 wants 4.
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 4 and he made it the hard way. Hey, the front line takes the hard. We have a shooter and a good one. Coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. Who wants to come? 6 to point.
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets. Place your bets. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
So funky. So funky.
Yeah, call him by his proper name. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
For 9. 5
Please.
for 9. He's a rolling point.
How dare you fuck up his name?
8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. Who wants to come? Play 6.
So funky. So funky.
Coming out again for a new point.
So funky.
Bets down, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly, Dragon Nation.
Who wants the hard 4?
Today we're gonna get shit done, I fucking swear.
Check me out, y'all.
4 fours to point, mark 4.
So funky.
Ace, deuce, scrap, mark 4. Ace, deuce, deuce.
So funky.
Scrap, 1. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Hot hand. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Hot hand. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Who wants to come?
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand.
Ugh.
Place your bets, ladies and
God, I
gentlemen.
fucking hate sneezing.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets. 9 a winner. Pay the front line. Take the don'ts. He's coming out again for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. 4 fours to point. Mark 4. Ace, deuce. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Play 6.
Okay. The music's over. We're done. Let's start the game. Maybe. Once I make sure everything's set up. Okay. Video games. I play them occasionally. You go on. I need to turn you on. And there we go. Okay, everything is ready. So last we left off, we finished our day. Hey, Kim! 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 Baby Puncher Cousteau, you're right. That's our name. Kim, where you at? Kim, I'm coming to ya. Hey Kim, how'd you sleep?
Morning. Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
Why do we need to talk to them? Wait, are those the men Gart told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
Why do we need to talk to them?
A lot of things point to the dock workers union. The circumstances in Martinez, my preliminary information. Actually, that's not a lot of things. We should have dug up more yesterday. Still, we need to talk to them, and it won't be easy.
What do you mean rowdy?
I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the union. These men here, men who drink beer for breakfast, there's talk of an armed wing of the union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for state policing. I think it's them.
Ah, there's so many of them. Maybe we should call for reinforcements?
That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay? One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first.
Yeah!
Yeah, streetwise. Zoom right past. Do it on your own terms.
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Why are you letting me lead the investigation anyway? You're clearly more capable than I... Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry
Just
about
a
yesterday.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
What's kicking, Lena?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working.
A faint smile tells you she appreciates the effort, but at the moment her mind is on more serious matters.
The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Okay, so what's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
That's not very helpful.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
Who's Gart?
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
A cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweet in it, somnolent. A damp chill goes down your spine. When you look around, you're still in the whirling in rags.
But you have more important things to worry about.
So what was this expedition?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
The water lock, that was broken. Could this be it?
Wait, who's this Gary person?
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
So the water lock to the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably just stuck.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
Probably just some technical problem. Not my fault.
Whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired, and it's cold out there.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
So your husband is some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Cryptozoology, really? He studies cryptids?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
Really, ma'am?
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious.
Oh, okay, I see.
Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
Whatever you say, ma'am.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
Why don't you tell me about some cryptids then, ma'am?
You're an
What?
enthusiastic idiot, but you're still
Are
an
you
idiot.
fucking... I'm furious. You just tell me about all kinds of cryptids.
We don't have time for cryptozoology 101.
I'm fucking
Let's get back to it,
angry.
shall we?
That was a 92% chance and it failed. Tell me more about Moral.
Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin.
What's he look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Let's try again. If I were to meet him on the street, what should I look for?
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
Okay. How long have you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
How did the two of you meet?
Via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
Well, thank you very
I
much.
hope I've been useful.
No. Tell me about this rare insect.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
No. I want to hear about it.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but
Oh, yeah. Here comes the interesting.
where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. Hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us officers.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
Kim, please, some respect here.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
What makes you think the phasmid is around here?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reed saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
Sounds incredible. Tell me more.
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insul Indian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Yes, Honora.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses.
Seem really excited about this cryptid.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insul Indian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses.
Is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
Is it have cool powers?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years. Centuries, even.
So it's a special.
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
Sure, whatever. Later, ma'am. Weirdo. Oh. There's people here. There's a bowl. It's spit in it, and it reeks of tobacco.
Yes?
Nothing.
Over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me handle this.
Once this the crowd in the mess hall before it turned to
You
you.
seem a little different today. Less hospitable.
You are far from home, lieutenants. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
You're right, Lieutenant. She did seem friendlier sitting on that corner.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
That's real fuck strike that you'd watch two at once. Yeah, chewing tobacco's
You are
nasty.
looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him. That's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What if I want to talk to you?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
What's your role?
Obviously, I'm a lawyer, a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. I would urge you to consider what you say to my clients.
What are you gonna do to me?
What are we going to do to you? The union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
Goddamn right it is.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But we digress.
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
Shut up, Titus.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
The privatization is not unlawful. It's cool and funny. Ugh. I don't like any of these. None of these are good. Yeah, we're here for a fucking murder and that's it. I don't like any of these. I also don't like her, and I don't like, basically, I dislike everyone, including myself right now. Is essentially the takeaway here. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's.
I'm not starting a fight here. I don't need to start a fight yet. I'll start a fight when I need to start a fight. Right now, it is not time to start that fight. Okay, so we have done our volumetric
There
shit
he still
compression.
is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
Yeah, let's stop throwing up.
As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a smell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your hands at your sides and your eyes squinting, you stand in it.
Do they always do that?
They do after 7 days, yes. We are deep in decomposition here.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
Let's inspect the boots.
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow.
So what kind of boots are these?
They are armor, no boots. Technically speaking, these are sabatons.
I know that band. Okay, then what kind of armor is it?
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be.
Where?
Under the heel. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
What happened to the rest of it?
The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more on after 7 days. We should keep a lookout for this species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know.
I got
The
it.
sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form, ageless and synthetic.
The material looks out of place.
It is. It's expensive.
Why is he wearing sabatons?
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics.
How much are we talking about?
For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
That's a lot?
As a wage, it's regrettably small. But for a piece of hardware, yes, that's a lot.
How could this man have fucking sabatons?
That's for us to find out. My initial report on the area suggests he was a security guard for the harbor company. But that's just hearsay.
That's a bit much for a security
I
guard.
agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
Let's knock on the boot.
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely. See?
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them altogether. Like the scales of some ancient white monster, cracked and pearly.
Let's remove the boot.
This feels dangerous. Are you sure?
Never mind. If Inland Empire is telling me no...
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt.
If Inland Empire
covered in tattoos
is telling me not to do it,
extremities blotched pink,
and nobody's telling me otherwise, I'm inclined to just, you know, trust Inland Empire.
The material delicate and fragile.
Kinda...
Their armor, ceramic plate, under the heel. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel.
Should we... You know what? Let's wait. We'll wait.
Slowly, the
Let's inspect the
hangman's
belt.
knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch.
What kind of rope is this?
Industrial strength. The kind used for tying cargo to lorries.
Like in a circus. When the circus leaves town and they tie a black-spotted giraffe to the wall of a carry pen.
Like a circus for transporting black spot giraffes?
No. More like in harbor. Like the one just east of here. I get the sense they used whatever was on hand, without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
So we're assuming it's the dock workers. They sure want him to stay there, given that the polyester's pretty strong.
It's not merely polyester. It's steel reinforced. See these lines? This is where the wires run. I see rabbits for more than 20 strands. This makes getting him down much more problematic than I had assumed.
So we're assuming dock workers from the harbor did it?
The brief suggested as much. Politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing?
My past has undergone total annihilation. I have done complete ego deletion, sir. So I have no briefing.
Okay, you should ask me for one the first moment we get.
How did they get him up there?
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt, buckle closes. It's what I would do. Seems easier than climbing up there.
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos.
Let's inspect the
An
tattoos.
intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. His corpse is marked by stars.
What will mine be marked by?
Alcohol and heartbreak.
Oh. Is this a microelectronic system?
I have only a cursive knowledge of the science of cybernetics. I would not know if it were. But it's not quite complex enough, is it?
It doesn't seem familiar from the insides of any radio computer your mind can imagine. The somewhat organic lines remind you of old filament memory units, but not quite. No, you're nowhere near right.
I'm missing something.
So am I.
Oh?
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
Was I...
A Trigger Sunshine. Mini.
What's that?
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera.
Ooh.
This is the first time he openly acknowledges the kid's existence.
Yeah, wow, actually. You acknowledged Kuno S.
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper.
Why would I
rolling
do
out.
a big logic brain like some fool?
In case we need it.
Cool machine.
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
It is.
There is only one ampoule left. Use it wisely.
What do we need the photo for?
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter. To us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
Can I have it? I should look at it later without the corpse smell.
Sure. Just don't lose it.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
Look him in the eye. We're not a coward.
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess. Underneath the curdled meat there is an expression, not carried on his features, but below, inside, an expression of pleasure. This man was experiencing joy at the moment of his death.
What do the vibes tell us? Tell me, who are you, dead man?
I'm gone.
Where have you gone? I can see you're gone, but who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
You are now, but who were you when you were alive?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
Okay.
Go ahead, Cobbo.
Where have you gone?
Into the wild pale yonder.
Where is that?
In the past. Way out in the west.
What is happening?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to you.
It's the power of your imagination.
Yeah, man! Don't be crazy! Inanimate objects and dead people can't really talk to you. Your wild imagination is doing this. Ask some more of those questions you love so much.
He loves those.
Why do I love them?
Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up.
Is my name Rooney?
Rooney. This is getting upbeat now. Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Of course not. My name is Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Listen to yourself. You're not a Raphael anything. You're probably just Harry or something.
Feel like I've been getting a lot of
That's
Harry.
right. You might be onto something there. Into the wild.
Whoops, didn't
in
mean to
the
do that.
past.
But I feel like I've forgotten something
Way
terrible.
out, because you have.
Who killed you?
Love did me in, Brother Copo. It was love all along.
Can you ask me a question?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
Doing what?
Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes. Standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
Maybe this will lead to something indescribable, unforeseen, miraculous?
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
Why were you feeling pleasure when you died?
Maybe I was getting my rocks off.
First, do you have to speak like that? Second, what dialect is that?
It's a mishmash, Copabolo. You think I'm Messinian, don't you? For you, This is how people from Messina speak like.
What is Messina?
Well, I'm not from Messina, am I? My hair is too light a shade of brown. Trust your inner racist.
What are you, racist now too?
You think I am. You think I was a racist because this lump looks military and has tattoos. That's called profiling.
You're damn right. So you were getting off to this?
Do I look like an erotic auto-asphyxiation type to you?
What is erotic auto-asphyxiation?
Captain Coppadromo. I fear we are drifting away, fixating on sexuality again. Let's go with a simpler question.
I hate you, you stink and you're boring.
Do I remind you of someone?
A baby affected by harlequinism.
You sure I got out of that one? Coppolini.
Okay, that's enough.
Come back later, Coppo.
Okay, now let's squint.
Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
What? What? None of that is what that says! Whatever, let's squint and take a step back.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink.
Ooh.
Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
Kim, I'm squinting. Why am I squinting?
How should I know why you are squinting, officer?
It's okay, squint harder. His face and hands are pink, thighs too, the rest is greenish.
Oh. You are trying to assess lividity.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
Yum.
So, what do you think?
I mean, he's beaten up. See the bruises?
I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made...
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
It means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal like.
Something's coming out of him.
The pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
That's true, Mrathian. We are a coward.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
I should ignore the children. I've already punched Kuno and proven my point. He can't get to me anymore. I already punched him. Maybe he went to the toilet sometime before death?
Maybe.
I think he's dead.
I agree.
There are crow's feet in his eyes. He's laughing silently.
Totally dead.
This Buster's not coming back.
No siree.
What do you think?
I think he was upright immediately after death. Blood has gathered in his hands and feet, and his neck. The noose acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis here is in tune with the hanging. That's what I think.
Could it be he was moved after death?
There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
Let's back off and catch our breath.
But there is no breath to catch.
So how?
Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils.
How do we get him
He
down?
slowly rotates before you, decomposing.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
Step back and take another
slowly
look.
twists on the cargo belt.
Of course. Come back later.
Yep, preliminary examination's done.
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt. The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting it.
Maybe we could shoot him down?
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
You know, shoot up there maybe? And point to the branch.
Yes, the buckle, where it ties the cargo belt to the tree. If the shot hits that, then there might be a small chance to release the belt.
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno with some shit.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno!
The lieutenant is undecided. On one hand, he wants to shoot some gun. On the other, it's an awfully stupid idea.
Let's look at our stats real quick, everyone. Let's see. So that would probably be, I don't know. That'd be reaction speed or perception or hand-eye coordination. That would definitely be hand-eye coordination. Jamais vu? Well, yeah, we're already working on that. Yeah, you know what? Let's go. Let me do it, Kim.
The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He appears too deep in concentration to even notice what you said.
I'll let him choose.
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
It's, you got this.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The trigger voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back and says to himself,
God damn it.
A lot of things were wrong with that shot. The fellow's desk was the wrong choice. His shoulders were raised, but above all, he cannot trust his eyesight. He feels bad about it. About his eyes mostly. Just having bad eyesight. Probably from a young age. Whatever you do, do not console him.
Fucking idiot! Mookabat asshole!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
Try again, maybe?
No, we are lucky as it is. We didn't break anything, and the victim remains uncompromised. Any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. We have eyes on us. I didn't do us any favors with that.
What now?
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
You know, you don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself.
Can I have the gun? I could give it a try.
It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms like punks. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
They only have one gun!
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banani poika!
Let's feel the weight of the gun first. Get a feel for it.
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the
Let's
mouth!
point the gun at the belt.
The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Let's close our left eye first.
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, catching the morning light as the corpse slowly rotates. As you wait, your breathing slows down. Some mosquito-like organism buzzes in your peripheral.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
Let's shoot. baby! Got it!
The buckle
Suck shit, Kuno S!
coming loose with a whir. With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slump down. For a moment, the man appears to kneel in front of you, looking straight at you, helpless, trapped within itself.
Who killed you?
Communism.
It takes a millisecond for the association to flash within your cortex. You have no idea where it's coming from, only that it's right. Then the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
Who's laughing now, you little shit?
Fuck you, Kurpale!
RCM, baby, RCM!
Ace is high.
Slap it, slap it, yes! Hell yes! Drive that son of a bitch home! Fuck yeah, Kim!
The lieutenant takes a little hop to perform the customary salutation. Your palm hurts from the slap. It's precise and down to the point.
I knew these guys were
Yeah, what now?
We will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before... Excuse me. It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just a little breather before we do the autopsy.
So a field autopsy?
Yes. The 4 phases of a murder scene. 1. Investigation of the scene. I can't say I'm fully satisfied with that part. We should search for prints, maybe. 2. Initial examination of the victim. We were pretty good in our efforts, and the autopsy will provide another chance. 3. Field autopsy. This will not be pleasant or easy, and it will have to be performed on the scene.
The fuck are they on about?
Cops are gonna cut his shit up next.
4 and final, transport of the coroner's case to the district morgue. I'll do that. God, it stinks.
Don't we have someone else for the autopsy, like a doctor?
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain. From crime scene to autopsy to cleanup, we do it all.
Honorary rank?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank. Mine is Lieutenant Detective, unfortunately. I can't tell you how tired I am of this corpse.
He is growing truly tired of it. It's not merely moodiness. His tolerance limit is near.
With shooting like that? Of course you are. Your station would not have assigned you to this case otherwise.
Alright, here's your gun back.
In the meantime, we should try to interview Evrard Clare, the leader of the Union. Harbor property was clearly used in the hanging. The harbor just east of here. Getting in might prove a challenge, though. I would also suggest we interview Joyce, the Wild Pines representative. But we've already done that, so good for us. 1 down, 1 to go.
Is this the famous list of initial interviews?
Yes. And those were the interviewees. Let's go.
Jamais vu. Derealization.
Oh.
Jamais vu. The opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
It is. What are our bonuses? +1 experience for every orb clicked. Nice. All intellect caps are raised by 1.
Lonesome. Long way home.
Ooh.
Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now. Anti-object task force. Behold, the anti-object task force has assembled. God's avenging angel, arrayed against the lower emanations of the darkened one. Shoe racks, tape recorders, motor carriages, and doors. So many doors. You're not just pounding it all to pieces. You're reforging the universe, from the anvil of the heavens to the worms below. Indulge in it. Be bold. Have an impact on the shape of creation. Out of the furnace of your rage. A new reality. Also, you should trash your room again.
We definitely should. See, ace is high. We do get +1 empathy towards Kim Kitsuragi if we take it. Fuck yes. Fuck yes, fuck yes, fuck yes. Internalize ace is high. Without a doubt. Let's go. Another level up wasted. Absolutely and completely. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's interact with the photo of the
An
tattoos.
intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus.
Yeah, we already read
Each
this.
time, it almost looks like the electronic patterns inside a radio.
What's the meaning of this tattoo?
Old for you to discover. You've gotten as far as you will without assistance. Someone close to the victim might know.
Who are you?
Gone.
Okay. Yeah, we did get +1 pain threshold, so you know what? It's a good day. Okay, so now that we've, oh yeah, we need to do the field autopsy. Before I do anything else. Wait, what are you? You orb here. Okay, now. Take another look at the footprints.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots, anywhere from...
Okay, well, we can't take care of that yet.
The rotting man lies on his side, with his eyes looking straight through you.
I actually can't kick more
The belt
boilers,
is
strike.
still around his neck.
Pain
His
threshold
body is supine and open to intrusion
does
by autopsy.
doesn't include your like doesn't up your health. It is endurance that does.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
So which was it that killed you then, love or communism?
Huh?
You said love killed you, but when you fell down, you said it was communism.
You're misquoting me, Rooney. I said communism killed me. Love did me in. Come back later, Corporal.
So what's a field
Amuse
autopsy?
yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
Okay, then let's get in there.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
What do you mean?
I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes.
Got it.
That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol.
We did it. We're on top of the game for once. Let's open our ledger at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with...
Well, let's start from the beginning.
That's you.
Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there.
Coroner's
The
case.
next box says
Number?
KK57-0803.0815.
I'm guessing that's his badge number, Kim Kitsuragi, 570803.
Next.
Name?
NA.
Date of birth?
NA.
Age?
Roughly 50.
We'll write down about 50.
the corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook, teeming with opportunistic microorganisms letting out a foul-smelling diamine compound. Your eyes turn watery.
Race?
Mondial.
Mondial.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex?
Fucky, fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
All right, male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Date of death?
We're still going with March 4th.
March
51.
4th.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck.
Chump.
Only one box remains.
Evidence of treatment?
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
We'll agree.
A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
Oh, that's fucking heavy.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings.
That's a fucking lot to take in, though.
And lists on red copier paper tries to answer
Like,
why.
Took me a second to figure out where the fuck they were going with that one. Then it's like, oh, yeah, dead people. External examination.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Haha, losers, we're not showing his dong.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
Write it down.
Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo resembling a microelectronical circuit board. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white.
Yeah, no. Ripping off the boots, I'm sure, would have been a terrible idea, because he'd been hanging straight up, and all of the blood would have pooled in his feet. Oh, and it would have been miserable, and we probably wouldn't have been able to remove the boots anyway, and it probably just made things worse.
The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Let's touch the corpse's hair before moving on.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
Let's stroke it gently.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread off a rag doll's head. There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Let's write it down, adding the brilliantine.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max.
Kuno, you're throwing arm shit.
Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
As it should.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
And let's write them down.
Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Good thing we got these chain cutters!
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Let's look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. Steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
Let's fucking go!
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
The vibes have led me to victory. Thank you, interfacing, my friend.
Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
No! It's gonna happen, see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Does it look like he was enjoying his moment of death?
Ah yes, your hunch before. We can have a semen analysis requested from processing, if that's what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Science and processing.
Just write down that we request an analysis.
The corpse with his pants down does not have an opinion on the subject. All he has is genitals and a deathly odor.
Let's, inspect his genitals.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Erotic. Write it down, add semen sample.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
That's a good sentence. Before you was a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life is, ooh, that's fucking good.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
Definitely the body of a soldier or a mercenary.
Mm-hmm. We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars.
Yeah, I know, Shrek, I fucking know. It is relatable. Write it down.
Last item. Hands.
Let's pick up the hand.
His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name?
My name is...
I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Corbo. What can I do you for?
Pleasure's all mine.
Il Corbo de Cappadocia.
Tell me, are you a temple of pain and a stranger to tenderness?
You get me, Kobo. I feel like you were once for tenderness and kisses yourself, but then shit went south and now you're ahead of even me on the pain
Rude.
front.
So rude.
We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were you expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Write it down.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke.
Damn. Conceptualization. Nope.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his
Shame we're
hand
bad
on
at
the
brain
dead man's
skills.
throat and begins to massage it gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system.
Okay.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Let's look inside his mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again. Straight in that mouth of his. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in.
We did it! Let's look deeper inside.
You managed to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Okay.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
Let's write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why, don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Oh, okay.
Neither am I.
And that's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
We already have one test as per regulation, and we already requested semen.
Pigs requested semen like it's no big deal.
I'm not even interested in these boring mulkus anymore. I haven't sucked him off or anything.
Can we change it to toxicology? Seems prudent.
At a request, then. We'll know if drugs or poisons remain in his blood. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with it. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
Yeah, this is the worst part.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
Write it down. Keep the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Bite marks?
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
And your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Write it down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Right.
Yep.
Next.
What's the 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
Ligature mark.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side.
Opinion.
The ring around his neck is visible.
Fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
How did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We requested a test to be run on the genitals. That was the règle. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
So, what now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Okay.
For processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something? You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse.
You know what? Let's give it a shot.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
Let's look under his fingernails.
His fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long. There is dirt under them. That's all.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
Yes, there's something we're not seeing.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast.
Okay, I mean, where do we find a fridge for the body?
Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building?
Yes, there was!
Now, detective, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant ice bear fridge, but I think we should still take a look at it first. Make sure it's big enough before we carry him over. Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for in the deceased will become harder to find.
Hell yeah, Kim, let's fucking go! Yeah. Also, while we're at it, let's put a point in visual calculus. Okay, let's plug the machine back in.
Both cables are unplugged, somewhere in the dark.
Yeah, let's go check on the bear.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red, watching over all the ice cream wrappers hidden inside its belly.
So, what do you think, Kim? It looks big enough for 2 corpses.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can.
Shall we go and get the body then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Fucking go!
The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get down to the basement. Then 10 more
Oh, that's
to
so
stuff
loud.
into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in a nice bare fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
Really? You think it's good work?
No, not really. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in a nice bare fridge. This story does not leave this room.
I'm not proud of it either, but we did find a fridge.
As impressive as the fridge is, this is a small victory, among numerous defeats. At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection, under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
Tell me something, dead man. Let's try one more time. Refrigerate the body.
Your arm
Yes!
reaches out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex glove. It's right under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around.
Crawl up his nostrils.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in.
Let's fucking push.
Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage. The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, spider.
Let's put our fingers in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track.
Play with it, it feels right.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile, even through the latex. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now.
Open your eyes and look.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Brainstem?
Yes, that's what this part is called.
Let's feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. The undulations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet.
There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Wriggle in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger.
Look, it's where the vibes are taking us. The vibes told us something is wrong here, and we are following the vibes.
Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush.
Let's dig it out.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched.
I got it.
All you need to do is just...
Good.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower. A blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
Drop it in. We did it! The vibes did not lead us wrong!
In the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Keep it, Lieutenant, as a gift.
No, you deserve it. We can log it later. We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds about right.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Goddamn right.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, that was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Agreed.
I have had my doubts for a while now, since I saw there were no signs of struggle on his hands, and no claw marks on his neck. There have been other signs too, small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost.
Who would do this?
That's for us to find out.
Why would anyone do this?
It will make finding them just a little easier. To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
Maybe the bullet.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really do.
It's so gross.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
So what happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
You'll be gone, but what should I do?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
Chatty's proud of us! He's proud of us! I'm so happy.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
So tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
How do you like it in the fridge?
I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest hour. You're a genius.
At the autopsy.
A regular Corporal Angelo.
Thank you! Ancient Mistress.
Oh yes, Kobo mi Lobo. In the gift horse's mouth. Tracts and wakes and waterways. ancient materials buried.
Yeah, but to where?
Just a small gulp away. My beloved Kobo, come back later, Kobo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Basically, Naren, I will do anything in my power to make up for my mistakes and make Kim proud of me, because I love and respect Kim, and I would take a bullet for Kim, honestly. Kim is the only one who, even despite his misgivings, has treated me with some modicum of respect, and I can never forget that. He still has faith in us, even after all our fuck-ups. That's worth its weight in gold. That said, we're gonna look at this really quick, and I will be right back. Okay, look, Marathian, I will take any wins I can get. As will our good buddy Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. I will have you know. So one other thing. I do, what was I gonna say? So, I figure the smart thing to do here, the smart thing, would be to wait until basically the end of the day before we send off Kim. Would be what I think the good idea to do. Yeah, let's bag him. But that would be the smart thing to do. Fuck that. We are going without Kim for a day.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Oh shit, you're right. So basically I put a point into the shivers, and that's where we are now. Where are the two old dudes? Yeah, we sent off the body with Kim. I got your ball.
You're still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking.
Here's the ball.
What is this? Are you mocking us? This isn't for pétanque.
Now, no need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a bull kiosk here in Martinez.
I really did try.
Trying is worth as much as is accomplished. In this case, almost nothing. Fine. You tried to right a wrong. It's still a gram better than actual nothing.
So, what do you know about this gun?
It's a Bell McGrave. 4.46 caliber. Breech loading. Revachol made.
His moves are quick and precise as he first checks the weapon, then aims it at the sea. This man knows firearms intimately.
This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her?
In the basement.
I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, everyone had something stashed away. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. These BM-446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find.
So I saw that statue of Philippe III.
Ah, yes. King Philip III on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
What was it about cocaine?
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur of sorts. His egocentricity is borderline legendary.
I like the phrase cocaine connoisseur, that's so good!
You can't even take the responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler?
Fucking monarchist.
That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine. For clarity of vision. To aid in their work. Regnum cocainum. Revachol's finest years.
So they used cocaine for clarity of vision.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made him administer the dose to his mother when she was in labor. And it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
Higher realms. Of course. It all makes
Sir,
sense.
could you stop licking them boots? Seems like irresponsible behavior for a monarch. Drug users shouldn't even know. Oh, no! That one's also bad! What was that about, higher realms?
It's really not. Please, do spare us the cocaine fairy tales.
So, how should a true king rule?
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
Seems like the leader should take care of his people before himself.
A nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
Hey, Renee Arnaud, you ever think that maybe for a second what happened was because he was a terrible leader?
The Carabinier doesn't reply, but his entire being communicates unbreakable resolve.
Like, I get that you're a staunch monarchist, but also you're a
No one
dumbass.
and nothing can change this man's mind. He is as rigid as they come, still in that antique uniform. It's a symbol for him.
Oh, you can't even. That's why the Philippian Philippe III was even brought.
I mean, definitely shouldn't be operating heavy machinery.
From what I've seen of the officers of the RCM. But I don't want to get into a debate about drug policies.
So let's talk about something else.
Right.
What is it about the old soldier that makes it... Try it again! Shit!
Still, all you see is an old soldier refusing to replace his uniform with a civilian attire.
Anything else I can assist you with?
Oh, later, loser. Okay, now we're gonna head back over here and look once again at this hideous wait, what? Hideous statue, there it is, yeah.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island.
Hell yeah, let's go steal some shit! A tank top! Dude, we just got a wife beater! And some cash! Happy fucking day. So, like, personally, I still prefer my mesh top, because it's sexy. Wait, I'm not wearing... Yeah, I'm wearing my mesh top. My mesh top is sexier. But, the wife beater's alright. Oh, chat, what do you think? Wife beater or mesh top? How does the wife beater look on us? I don't know, I'm digging the mesh. Hey homie, what you gotta say?
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter. Some cigarettes and food money. Maybe she's your...
Grandma?
Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair is gray like lead.
Excuse me, ma'am, I'd like to ask some questions.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Do the finger snap.
Where am I? Who are you?
The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the wary aspect of a cornered beast.
Me? I'm the law around here.
Then I don't suppose you could tell me where we are, lawman. Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
What's so bad about the 50s?
The men have the small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber?
Where else would you be then?
Back in Methka, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with the young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguero. Until you came along, that is.
Who's Gabriel Buenguero?
This is Gabriel Buenguero.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen. This man's got a hold over her, even 50 years later. You can feel it.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all of his lines.
So, I take it you were in Mesk when you were young?
Someone was.
Someone? Are those not your memories?
They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not? They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
She seems to derive some bitter pleasure from this strange thought, as if the past will one day wipe the present away, like a tidal wave.
Sorry to interrupt your dreaming, ma'am.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the mine behind the Black Sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden. While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution. In Methk, it was a golden age.
Good for you.
Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
Okay. What are you hauling?
Diamonds. Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
What are you really hauling, you
Whatever
fucking
stupid
weirdo?
things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
So you don't know what you're hauling?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
So what if the cargo is contraband?
Then it's contraband, Loman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
I still don't really understand this whole Boyadero thing.
Of course not. To truly understand the Boyadero, you need to listen to On the Western Plain.
What's that?
It's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring Boyadero. He promises to marry her as soon as he returns from the Western Plain.
I'm guessing that probably doesn't happen.
Of course not. The Boyadero returns from the Western Plain a changed man. One night, as he and his beloved are out walking along the river Maygrit, she pleads with him to give up his riding and settle down.
This sounds... I don't know, I feel like I've seen...
So the Boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the magway.
Jesus!
Then he rides off, because the Western Plain is calling to him.
A beautiful song.
The most beautiful. A true Boyadero needs a whole horizon to himself. He can't be tied down by man or woman. His beloved was selfish. She didn't know what it meant to love a Boyadero.
What if to truly love a boyadero is to float lifeless downstream?
When I came, you seemed gone.
What do you mean?
You were in a dream, turned off.
Yes? What about it?
You drive a lorry if you get like that?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best camioners around.
Why did I talk to this lady?
Routes no one else will.
What routes?
Lomonosov's Land, Udashnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain.
A terrible cold comes over her, rattling her teeth as she stares inward.
The Transcatalia Magistral, you for 1A, Adestradas du Mirador, all the good ones, the deep trenches, where the bluebirds fly.
Cool, ride until you're dust, sister.
Irmao, I already am dust.
Oh, whatever, weirdo.
Let's go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Mesque.
Weirdo. Fucking weirdo. Why do I have to always deal with the weirdos?
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. The windows are clear.
I always the one stuck dealing with the weirdos. Why can't, you know, be somebody else? Why do I have to be the one to deal with it, hmm? Hey, little buddy, how you doing?
The dented yellow mailbox greets you.
I would never say fuck you to the mailbox. How dare you even suggest it, game? A good one.
Yes? Hello?
Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much.
What you doing?
Looking for something to read.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
Maybe your husband is missing?
My husband? No, he's not.
So where could he be?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
So what I'm hearing is you really don't know where your husband is.
Yes, but I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time.
Wouldn't you like to?
No.
I can totally help you find your missing husband.
Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband.
She has, though. The husband is totally lost. You should tell her that it's okay.
It's okay.
What?
It's alright to not know where your husband is. Nothing shameful in that.
Who said anything about shame? Stop talking down to me. My husband is not missing.
But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's something else then.
Maybe your children are missing?
No, absolutely not.
So where are they?
Are you a policeman or a nanny?
Nanny, where are they?
They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance. What if something horrible has happened? What if they're dead?
They're at home, right?
That's the bad vibe you got before.
Smoking. What if something awful has happened? What if they're in the sewers?
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Shamrock. There's nothing to worry about. They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now.
I'm afraid the danger is greater now than ever before. How old are they?
My youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month. But we shouldn't even be talking about them.
Can you describe to me their appearance and features that stand out, something to make identifying a little easier?
Why do you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they're not missing? That they're in Shamrock, safe and well, at some stupid party?
It's for the investigation. I'm trying to be professional.
There is no investigation here. I can tell you that.
Maybe your cockatoo is missing.
I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here.
Ma'am, I was asking about your cockatoo. Is it missing?
I don't even have a cockatoo. And guess what?
What?
Even if I had, it wouldn't be missing.
Ma'am, please, work with me here.
Great.
What do you mean by me being a cockatoo?
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
Actually, that's what I'm gonna do. Thanks for the tip.
Wonderful. The store is open.
Now let's watch her.
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking.
Oh, later.
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
We're not harassing her anymore, don't worry. Okay, so, ma'am, you got any books on cockatoos?
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop.
Sometimes it's necessary to resort to extreme measures.
I suppose it's all over now. I guess there's no escape.
Look, the vibes are rancid, but it's just a door.
This place is cursed, Detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Just look at the sheer amount of companies that have failed in this house. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that you've broken the door, the curse is coming to get me as well.
But I thought the curse wasn't real.
Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman. All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We are set on the path. There's little else to do.
Her facade has dropped. Now you see the curiosity behind the fear.
But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity?
I mean... No, I didn't even feel her, honestly.
Yes, the malignant entity that lives inside the chimney. It takes the shape of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she knows more about the curse than she lets on ever since I first saw her.
Oh, I heard voices!
Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains upstairs. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all
What
the
is this, some
companies in the
SCP
building.
shit?
And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse.
You should get back to the furnace. Make some noise.
Looking for a book about cockatoos.
A book about cockatoos? There should be one upstairs, right next to the shelf of biographies.
Thanks, ma'am. Are you cockatoo shelf?
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same city.
The same person would ever put their head in such a machine.
Shelves full of biographies of famous people.
let's get that greatest
they are.
innocence book.
A true cultural touchstone. Enjoy the read.
Okay. So now we got that. Cockatoo, cockatoo,
This
cockatoo.
bookstore is not strictly about crime.
Cockatoo?
Several maps have been attacked. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East.
And west?
Hudon. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad, and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
And Martinez?
It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. North of Jamrock. The strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, Coal City is worse. A charred limb. Rain falls on its slick black streets. And then there's the burnt-out quarter in the heart of Jamrock. Is it cold in this bookstore? Or is it just you?
Maybe just us.
No, this is somewhere to be. This is all you have. But it's still something. Streets and sodium lights, the sky, the world. You're still alive.
Can I buy the maps?
Sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
Why is the Martinez one so cheap?
That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
And then?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
I mean, at least I wouldn't disappoint Kim by stealing it. But, like, I would disappoint Kim in spirit. And that's still too much for me already.
Shelves full of biographies of famous. Browsing through, suddenly, a high-speed love. Next to.
I really must.
She understands she has erred against the customer. And
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you.
browsing through, suddenly, high-speed next to.
I really.
She understands she has.
I'm sorry,
A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover.
Let's flip through the pages.
Slightly open. Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have behavioral problems. You don't have behavioral problems. That's garbage. You're cool.
Thank you, Composure, for telling me I'm cool. What about this guide to cockatoos?
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
Let's steal it. Shit!
Slowly.
Sir, no touching the merchandise. People like their books pristine, not handled by God knows who.
I'll buy the fucking book.
Nature enthusiast. Good choice. I knew it was a good idea to keep that around.
It was a coin flip and I failed the coin flip. Okay, so we got some toys to fuck with. Okay, let's start out with The Greatest Innocence.
The Greatest Innocence by João Paulo Salomão Lopes de Fuego. The book is large and heavy.
Let's crack that bitch open.
Browsing through the various chapters, you try your best to understand the ceaseless overflow, the sprawl of names, dates, places, events historical. Most of it ends up as a twisted mass of facts inside your brain. You can do it. It'll be worth it. There's something here.
Ooh.
Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well, it's pop quiz time. Let's see what you've learned. This might take a few minutes. You ready?
Oh, we've mastered Aces High. Sure, why not?
That's the spirit. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the first innocence? Dolores Day.
Dolores Day.
Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. She codified parliamentary democracy and created modern institutions. Among these, the moral intern, she was powerful and beautiful on all her icons. Her colors are silver, white, and apricot. And when you think her name, Dolores, stomach acid rises to the back of your throat, and it hurts. You see a flash silver, a wreath, an airport bag, and blonde hair. You don't know why. Another choice, perhaps? Steer clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one.
What?
A strange sensation of loss. When she left the earth, the dust, and the ice, and the humans. That is unimportant to the quiz. Stop thinking about this. Yes, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse sensations in yourself at the mention of Dolores Day. Who was the first innocence? It wasn't Dolores Day.
Was it Sola?
Incorrect. Sola was anointed during the previous century and even lived to see the current one. She was an urban planner who spoke her mind and largely left history to its own devices, encouraging people to excel on their own rather than prescribing to a deified model of history. She is often called an anti-innocence. Sola resigned after an assassination attempt by a Yugo nationalist who blamed her for not taking the side of the left during the turn-of-the-century revolutions. Innocences don't usually resign. Care to try again?
Okay, so it is the Paracarnasian.
Correct. Nothing much is known about him. It's not even clear that he was a he, but Franco Negro presumed as such and called him Pius. He's depicted as a young man with molten gold pouring out of his mouth. All he spoke was gold. It's said he invented God and equality of men before God. He also introduced the gold standard as a way for measuring people's love for Aurum. As the first innocence, he declared that there should be more of those like him. It is presumed his disciples were the beginning of the Holy Party, the founding party. Question 2. Who was the strongest innocent?
I bet my innocence could beat up your innocence.
Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody.
Vesper Messina?
Incorrect. Vesper Messina is not a person, but a defunct state on the southeastern coast of the Occident. It used to take up most of the peninsula before separating into the republics of Vesper and Messina. Get to try again?
This dude?
Correct. Named the innocence of militarism, He codified hereditary rule, but at the same time ended serfdom and established the Inter-Isolari Real as the global reserve currency. He also established the concept of the nation. Franco Negro attempted to solve the rising tensions between the aristocracy and bourgeoisie by building a unified society in which every man has a place and a mission, but at the same time may rise to nobility provided on the strength of his virtue.
This dude's sounds like shit.
Question 3. Who was the false innocence?
Erno?
Correct. There have been a number
Pasternak?
of counter or false innocences, some assumed to have innocentic qualities, some who just thought so themselves. Occasionally, they have the support of a faction inside the ecclesiastic organization, and accusations of foul play have arisen. The most famous and important of these was Ernau Pasternak. He was into torture, despotism, hymns, cannons, and world conquest, but got defeated and humiliated by Stepan the Despicable of Kedra. Final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much. This is the most important one. Question 4.
This
Who
might
was
kill
the
me.
greatest innocence? The most important of them all. The most precious to humankind. I don't even have to say it anymore.
Dolores Day.
Correct. The Mesk might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude. Dolores Day has become widely regarded as the greatest innocence. A most radical change to the whole fabric
Radical
of the
dude.
world. Everything from inter-isolary travel to the connected world to 3 consecutive scientific revolutions can be traced back to her. Every decade that passes, she seems less human somehow, and more beautiful, and more beautiful, and more beautiful. Congratulations on finishing the test. The results and your subsequent grade have been calculated. You get a C, vaguely passable. A solid effort with nothing much else to show. Nice going, mediocrity man. You would have done better if you just left Dolores Day for the end. Dial the Dolores Day down a bit.
Damn you, you arrogant
You
book.
are shouting at an inanimate object, like a real weirdo. No wonder you seem to have trouble with the right answers.
Man, something's weird about this book. You should do something fun instead. Rock out. Forget about it.
I will rock out with my cock out. You're correct. But before I do the
Aces high. For the rest of the world, the aces high is just a cool Revachol thing, politically neutral. In Revachol, it still holds revolutionary connotations. Also, have you looked at Lieutenant Kitsuragi's clothes? He wears a bomber jacket, just like the ones worn by aerostatic brigades, and those cargo pants could store tools for hotfixing your aerostatic. Maybe you should ask him about this.
Maybe we should. Aces high. Look at all these thoughts we can have, chat. Look at all these fucking thoughts we can have. Homosexual on. Damn, I need to get that one though. Shit. Orb. Ooh. Yeah, I have burnt almost every single level up I've gotten on thoughts, and it's kind of great. Okay, ma'am. I'm not thrilled about spending my money.
Filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
But I need that hypnogamma.
I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
And let's drop
The
off
tin
some
machine
bottles.
stands. Your bottles clunk into the machine.
Oh yeah, we got half a real. We're doing great. Oh, I'm so poor. Alright, we need to read about cockatoos. That's right. But first off, let's use this map of
The
Martinez.
worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinez, with directions to appropriately touristy locations. Year 48 resides on the upper right corner. Your finger moves through the various streets, across Rue de Saint Lane, and Rue
We're not the Hobocop, it's true.
over Saint-Brou,
and yet we live like a Hobocop.
Martinez North. Finally, coming to a halt on the spot where you are currently standing, although the map gives no such indication itself.
For a more detailed view of the map, go to your journal and select the map tab.
Thanks, ma'am. Okay, now let's read about those cockatoos.
A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest.
Ooh, erectile.
Found on the Seminine Islands
Semin.
and in southern Fas a la Mer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues.
Tell me more.
This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated.
Alright, so what are the problems with these birds?
Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up.
I could handle that. It would be nice to have someone to talk to when feeling lonely.
Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream non-stop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive.
That's pretty bad. What else?
It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own.
Yes, but there has to be something great about cockatoos, right?
You're right. Cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle, and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibels.
Yeah, it sounds like us. What about the funeral cockatoo?
This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it.
It is cool Inland Empire. What about major majestic cockatoo?
Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle. Its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious nature. In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species.
Okay, but let's read about the most common bang bang cockatoo.
Despite its banging name, the bang bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species. Common in almost all Seminese forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly grey and white. The Seminese name, Bang Bang, is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins.
Okay, this does sound a bit like us.
Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you?
Chat, which one are we Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau? We're not the fuck up a 2. I'm sorry to tell you this, chat. We're not choosing that. I told you, we are done being down on ourselves. We are going to improve. We're trying to better ourselves. So no. We know not to be down on ourselves. Yeah, we're the major majestic. You're right.
You're right. Your Majesty embodied. This big, beautiful bird belongs on your heraldry.
I got the Chivo for saying 7 deranged superstar lines. I want you to know this, chat. I felt all of you should know this. That is a literal achievement I fucking got.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. No, this is going to need something else. Some kind of super pry bar. Don't even try to open it with a regular pry bar. You're just wasting your time. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Equip the pry bar by go.
Okay, I'll equip the pry bar.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand.
Yeah, I need something stronger than the pry bar.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
There's a rifle here?
It means there are firearms.
Oh, yeah, we already saw
inside
these
a
last
secret-
time. Okay. Only I had a super pry bar. You know, the pry bar to end all pry bars.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Okay, chat, we have war painted ourselves, so let's yell into the furnace.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
you've awakened the entity.
This is the police, who's there?
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs, the sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
Luckily, we have our war paint. And we have shown our war face. So we're ready. Oh, that's right, oops. What are you? Developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. What was that noise? Where are the clothes if it's used to display what? Hello? Because I haven't saved in a while. Tray full of dice, colorful polyhedral, yeah. Candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Jesus! Hello?
Hello. I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
Ma'am, do you make custom
Could
dice?
this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now.
Hold on, what do you mean, Milos?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
I enjoy learning about swears in other languages, though. That sounds like a good time. So you must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
No, I was looking for something else. Answers. Let's, answers.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
This person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
I like this person, actually. This person's lovely. How did you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
So, ma'am, could you make me dice, if you would, from the penis bone of a walrus? Or maybe, you know, out of some moose shit? Because, like, I would appreciate those, but normally they're too expensive. Could you make, like, a gator bone die?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Damn. That sounds like the worst way to play Shadowrun, Malik. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the Whirling in Rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here.
So you have a great view of the court, you didn't see or hear shit?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
You mean Kuno?
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, thanks for the help.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
So I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Do you know Whirl Untethered?
Ah, yes. Fortress Accident. It's too bad they never finished their game. The Whirl Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die. Only, instead of plants, it uses motifs of ice and death. And loss, of course. I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours.
What do you need to cast it in resin?
Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's perfect. It's an icosy tetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically, you can also use it for many other sizes, but you may need to reroll results.
It's a deal.
Great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
Where are we?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
You're right, Inland Empire. You're right. So I've heard this place is cursed.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
I mean, look, man, Plaisance sent me. She says the vibes are rancid.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow?
Actually, it's not doing that well. I mean, she needs to exploit her own daughter. Ugh.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Wait. Oh, thanks for the follow, Knave the Fish. Let's see. I mean, I could tell the truth. This waitress just took off and the customers are having trouble paying the bills.
And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
I mean, she thinks you're the source of it, that's why.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I mean, the vibes may be rancid, but that's not your fault. So I'll say it's business decisions and natural market fluctuations, given all of these businesses kind of seemed poorly thought out.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Rats scuttle in the dark rooms, under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers.
Boy howdy, we got a lot of shit to talk about. So there used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
I mean, what's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customer should have been more open-minded, honestly. Honestly!
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
Who was Artemitep?
A kind man, from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
He's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
Oh, did you see us punch him?
I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
Judging from the kids I met so far, it really didn't work out, did it?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse.
At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
Maybe teaching them how to throw a punch wasn't the best idea. So what's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
Okay.
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool, very cool about the debris, but what's a snuff milieu?
It's a sub-rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
That's horrible! Were they arrested?
I believe the ICP got them. They have a special division that deals exclusively with sub-rosas. In any case, I don't think it's your job to worry about what happens on milius. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it. Things like that are better forgotten.
Damn, girl. What about stuffed animals?
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else?
Creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
I'm sorry, wait, insect rights activists?
Mm-hmm. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
But wait, bugs don't have brains or feelings.
Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
I have killed so many flies with my electric fly swatter, ma'am, I understand.
Anything else?
What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
Ah, I see.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Why hasn't he been arrested? Embezzlement's illegal.
Sure, it's illegal, but it's not exactly anything extraordinary in business. Besides, Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around.
Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
Why?
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
Yeah, they must have, didn't look impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
That's too bad. I would have supported them.
Not the wisest decision. you would have lost all your savings.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Damn!
The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
There is a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by 2 guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Tell me more.
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls.
Yeah.
Fritta does the same thing.
I know a girl just like that. She works in Fritta as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened.
Damn, girl, you got some feelings about teens.
And they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I'm sure the bear was doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
Why?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Megatherion?
Megatherion, a mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
Damn. I need to tell Bear about this.
The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
Grab your necktie and mumble, "Not now, you beast!"
What?
You ever feel like your vision beast is trying to blackmail the fun out of you?
No, officer. I don't have a vision beast. Normal people don't have vision beasts. Only drug-addled madmen like the taxidermists do.
What about horrific neckties? Do normal people have horrific neckties?
Neckties? I guess they do sometimes, officer. But I don't understand how it's relevant to our discussion. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow.
Anything else?
So,
another failed business, perhaps?
I found the building's
I've been here for a long time.
intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
Strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstream SCA. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe
She said
it
she was in
Sans from the bookstore.
Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't?
Ma'am, I can tell you that was not the voice of a child. I would be impressed if it was.
No, it was something else. It was eerie. Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
You're right, I probably got made fun of. Thank you, composure.
Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
So that doorbell with the empty name card was yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
We don't need to tell her about the voice. Oh, the whirling in rags.
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
Saw a name East Delta Pinball on the doorbell.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice? Don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick-track, especially pinball.
Tell me more about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
No more questions about the intercom.
I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work. Sure, I'm listening.
Good, other questions.
Good. I hope it clarifies things a
Okay,
bit.
so...
What else?
Time for the shivers to take me away. Wait. The shivers. The shivers take me away.
You feel nothing. If anything,
Start taking off your clothes.
In here.
You need to connect.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
It's part of a special technique I have. Is it me or is it hot in here?
No, I don't feel hot. We're in a derelict smokestack.
If
anything, then it's cold here.
Trying to lower my body temperature.
And why would you do that?
It's part of the special technique I have.
And what technique is that?
Hear me out. Sometimes I get these feelings.
Officer, this isn't how mature adults deal with their feelings.
Now you feel something. The cold damp of shame washing over you.
I just... It's not like that.
The air pressure told you to take your pants off in my studio?
Oh no, I'm not explaining this very well.
Can you please employ this special technique somewhere else? I work here and my work requires concentration. Half-naked people don't help with that.
Ma'am, are you implying that my half-nakedness is distracting to you? Yeah, I should have waited. But I didn't. It's fine. I plan on leveling up the shivers again later anyway. But I have failed, and it is my failure. I will not undo it. Hello, ma'am.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
Okay, let me check one thing.
What have you found?
So, her name is...
Do buy the books. There may be teachings in them. A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
No, ma'am, I felt her aura. She's not the one to blame for this curse.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
Before you say anything, ask yourself, is the woman really able to withstand the truth? She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. You've come this far, you know how to end it. There is an entity behind the entity.
Damn, I can't believe my brain is pulling me in a lot of directions. Let's see. There's another entity, more malignant, pulling the strings in Martinez. Perhaps in my travels I will cross paths with it.
A third order presence, yes.
A great dark relief washes over her.
I've heard of these triactors. In certain occult literature, that's too dark to dwell on for too long, and definitely not in the presence of my daughter. I understand everything, sir. Thank you for your descending into the maelstrom. I will keep fort up here, strengthen the wards, do my best. And if you happen upon the third entity in your travels, may the Lord be with you.
Yes, the venture continues. In other waters, darker waters. The shop around you feels ancient suddenly, damp and saturated by the coastal air. The books are rotting. A great cold lives here, and there, too. 1,200 meters away, on the urban coast, the dark shape of a church is reflected on the water, calling.
Okay, well, later, ma'am. Well, I think that went great. I don't know about you guys, but I think it went very well. We are also out another 8 real that I don't have. I need to earn 8 real to buy those dice, and then I need to get another 20 to pay for my room.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
I am in massive debt. I might need to beg for more money again. I don't want to beg for more money, but I might have to. Right, let's go get some bottles quick.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossil. The metal feels cold. The mute machine. But yes, it was vandalism. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert. Your money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk. The ring of metal. The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry. Different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab grey shape, like a ghost. The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken sea fort. Its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree grows out of it, its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind.
Hang in there, little guy.
The little brave birch tree seems to wave back in the wind.
What a pal. And now, let's go take a stop on by our good buddy. Actually, let's... Give me a sec, I gotta... Okay. Now let's go stop on by our good buddy over here at the pawn shop. Hey, homie.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can Sure, let me have a look.
Let me check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
On you. On you. On you. I'm not selling the lieutenant's handkerchief.
Another time, perhaps.
Let's see.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
Pretty old Everett
Been
car
by
player.
the shop a couple of times.
There was something awfully deliberate about that laziness.
Why do I feel like you don't want to talk about him? Are you hiding something?
They weren't the most pleasant interactions. Small town bigwigs always want everyone to play a part in the play they're staging. But I bowed out at some point. I prefer to watch from afar while the bigwigs come and go. It was all very strange. That forewoman was more pleasant than Evrard. But I guess it's all the same in the end. He tried. Wanted to come to some mutually beneficial agreement around my dealings with the dock workers. I politely declined to hear him.
Yeah, he probably wanted them to give better deals.
As I said, I refused to talk to him. That's why he came back a second time. That's also why he hasn't come back a third.
Did he buy anything?
He purchased a remarkably garish paperweight the first time he was here. Nothing the second.
He nods reluctantly.
That's all I got.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
I want to see if I get... I don't want to sell this item, but I want to see what'll come from it if I show it to him.
Oh, no. I don't like those kinds of objects. No sale.
You know what tattoos mean?
A photic path, counter-radiance network, anti-magnetism. It's darkness. That's all I know.
Okay.
Some another time, perhaps.
Later, homie. I didn't sell the kind lady's pen. See, I still got the green 8 pen. I don't know why you thought I sold it. I sold a bunch of shit I didn't need.
A rusting control panel. This panel usually closes the water lock. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens. Nothing happened. The man watches you in silence, very slowly cutting off another slice of his salami and putting it in his mouth. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. Wasn't there a sign over there saying function?
Well, I think that went pretty well. I miss Kim, though. Chat, do you miss Kim? Because I miss Kim. More bottles to sell. I mean, ideally, I should be saving money, you know, to pay off my room and then wait on the dice. But when have I ever done the smart thing? I wouldn't say the best thing about Raphael, Naren. I would say the best thing to happen to Raphael.
A sign says, your bottles clunk into the machine.
Because I would almost argue that if it wasn't for Kim, Raphael would have no hope of getting out of the hole he's dug, basically. Because really, our boy Raphael here needs anyone to believe in him. Kim so far is really the only person who does that.
If I can help you. Sure. Let me have a look.
I like to sell my clothes.
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment. And especially that tie. It swallows photons around it. I have no need for necrotic.
Your mother is a necrotic object! I'm fun! Look at me sparking in the light of the projector!
Another time, perhaps.
Okay, later. Let's remove our tie then and see if he'll accept clothing.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Oh, I can't actually... let's see.
Sure. Let me have a look. I'm not purchasing any more clothing at another time, perhaps.
I love you, necktie. But yeah, I would argue that Kim is what Raphael needs more than anything right now. Our good buddy, Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. what are you? More bottles. More bottles are always good. Because it means I'm slightly closer to affording my room for tonight. Which is always a plus in my opinion.
You hear someone walking a poor communard from...
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
A poor communard.
Damn. Hey, do you have anything to say to me?
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Marzov.
The hero of the working people.
A warm feeling fills you as you look into Marzov's marble eyes. The hallway behind the door is empty. No one else heard your courageous salute. A poor communard, from the looks of it.
It's true, we don't have Kim here to talk to us for saluting him. I feel weird and empty without Kim here, actually. God, I feel empty without Kim. Ooh. I'm not taking the alcohol. I can't be tempted if I don't have it on my person. It's that simple. Money, money, money. I might be able to sell it, you're correct. I can't get up there. I'm waiting for Kim before I interact with the bullet, just so you know, everyone. That's why I haven't interacted with the bullet yet.
This door is made of metal. No one answered. Looks like he isn't home.
For anyone curious as to why I've been ignoring the bullet in my inventory. It's specifically just because I'm waiting for Kim, because I want Kim's reaction as well.
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Why is the star upside down?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it.
What's the deal with the antlers?
The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time, above it.
Why white?
Because white is the color of peace.
What does it evoke in me?
Gone. Gone is the glory of hope. Only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways.
Oh. Well, that went great. Yeah, I should take it and see if I can sell it. I think if I can sell it, it should list the price. Which I can't. But I'll see if I can sell it anyway. Shame I can't sell the book I got.
Give me a moment.
One big pro for this game. Because of how ridiculous and over the top all interactions are, it's pretty entertaining even when you fail, I would argue. And it is, a lot of this game is about failing forward. The con is anytime you disappoint Kim, you feel genuinely terrible about it. Yeah, con, it didn't ship with voice acting, but thankfully, it has it now.
Hello again.
Boop-a-doop-a-doop-boop. Let's see if I can sell off this wine. Yeah, if I can sell something, it lists it. Oh, fuck. Well, now I've got wine burning a hole in my inventory. No, I don't think it needs combat. Not all games need combat. It's true. I have never once felt like I need to do anything, or like everything, I should say.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can. Sure. Let me have anything else you're thinking.
Yep.
Stanley?
Nope. I cannot sell the wine. Okay. Oh, thanks for the follow. Yep, boop, boop, boop. I don't like that bottle being in my inventory. Yeah, if you wanted to play an action game, you could play an action game. This is 100% about the narrative and the world building and everything involved. Like, you are Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau, giant disappointment of a cop, having just completely obliterated your ego in one really awful bender. And all the problems that come with it. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much right. I'll trust Malik on this one. Boop, boop, boop. So I am still out about 6 and change, 6.5 real. So I'm not doing great financially, you might argue. What are you? Oh, okay. Thanks, game. Like, honestly, my main priority right now is trying to figure out where the fuck to get some money.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons.
Let's see. We did improve our visual calculus.
Several. Sitting at a desk, Lieutenant Kitsuragi fiddles with a pen, then writes something on the paper in front of him. He shouldn't be doing that. He should be here discussing the footprints.
Damn.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material.
I can't punch a child right now. That's the one shame right here, is I can't punch that child right now. I've already punched him, there's no point to punching him again.
You see a heavy steel. The door doesn't. The cobalt blue. Old cobalt paint. Roughened. The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Let's see. Break down our gun. Reality lowdown. Go to zoologist, Kim. Victim's tattoos. Union boss. Wash off the smell of death. Yeah, we got -2 to authority from the ledger of, Oh, right, we have the flip-up glasses on. That's right. I'm putting you away, though. Let's, get our flashlight back out. And our bag. Hello, sir.
Can I help you?
Got my bill for tonight.
20 real.
Not yet.
And why are you...
Later, loser. Where am I gonna get that real?
The door is closed.
Try the handle.
This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside.
Knock
There is
on the
no
door.
answer. You hear the shower being turned on. Somewhere inside. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you.
I'm so alone.
The door is indifferent to your loneliness. The world does not care. Still no answer. Still nothing.
Damn. Okay, so let's go take a shower quick and get rid of the death smell.
This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are, right? The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons. The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting. Like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks. Like sad duckies. You feel nice and lonely. And so tired.
Let's remove the beer cans.
Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. but it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub.
Let's imagine something.
You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench.
Linger in the tub a little.
Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin.
I need to go have a conversation with something.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
Not now.
Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist of lemon? Maybe lime? Maybe who cares? Just rum?
Nah. I got more important things to do. Like talk to a lady who shouldn't exist.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies.
Coin flip, let's go!
Delta Commerce Center. No.
Shit.
Hold on. The last thing you need in your life.
Trying to sneak up on me again? Trying to snuff me out?
I need 7 real. Well, I need 6.6 real. Well, actually, I need 6.39 real. What? No. 6.59 real. 6.59 real.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Discard the thought. Money, money, money. It is Tuesday. It is currently Tuesday, and I don't have much money.
The tear machine. The tear machine stands in the. Your bottles clunk into the.
Yeah, I'm in a pretty bad way right now. If it comes down to it, I will sell these items. I don't want to, though.
Hello again, esteemed officer. Okay, but please, only a few questions. Yes, the wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear it's not enough. Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Ma'am!
Yes, the Simonees are very crafty, and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards simply won't do here. The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Didn't that curtain just move?
I was hoping for something. Annette mentioned that the previous tenants experienced
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long.
The woman looks aloof.
Well, farewell for now. Later, loser. I'm gonna have to go beg that lady again, and I don't want to beg that lady, but I might have to beg that lady. It's like, I can't think of a good way to get some cash really quick. And like, even if I sold that shit that I have, I'd still be about, let's say, a little less than 3 real short.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden boards she's standing on, and on the water around you.
Neither do I.
Very rugged. Good choice. Now, I suspect you had questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day. Am I right?
You said about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you know something about the tattoos?
Better not tie the forestay to the batstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
No more questions about
More
reality.
lessons in basic reality?
Jamais
My
vu.
favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What is?
What is all of this?
What world
The scent, the sound.
is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
What do you see?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
A frisson lifts the hair on the back of your arm. Wind sweeps the surface of the bay.
The wind is sweeping the waters.
The world is a suzerainty
What?
of Revachol.
What?
There is a term of endearment
is that voice?
coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Elysium, that... it does deserve a world. It needs a term of endearment.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What's hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
What shape is the world?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revachol Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey corona?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
I'm sorry?
A cold fear seeps into you.
Wait, what are you telling me?
You seem to be spooked.
The pale?
Please don't be. They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out
So
of
there
our
are just
rut,
chunks
bring us
of our
together,
planet missing.
however naive it may sound.
Just huge gaps in the Earth, basically. Fractured Corona doesn't feel like it's gonna bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Doesn't sound like any kind of disco I'd like to go to.
But you already have. And you're doing just fine, despite the rubble.
The cold seeps into you. The air is heavy with 80% humidity. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides.
What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality. It is the opposite of reality.
Okay, but could you define it?
Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
What are islas?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7.
So there are just gaps in reality?
Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
And Insulinde is?
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
So what is pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
So yes, there are just holes in reality. Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
So 6,000 kilometers from the end of the world.
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer.
North?
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called porch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
What are its physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
If we're surrounded by pale, then how do we get from Isla to Isla?
Oh, it is so difficult for us. It is possible to force dimensions on the pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the pale without getting lost. or having our minds
Wait,
damaged.
the Pale can damage the mind?
Extensively.
How?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Oh, what's that feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
You're not a civilian passenger?
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entreprenetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Do lorry drivers pass the Pale?
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the Pale driver about this. See what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
That explains why she's so far... Okay, you're overrated?
Up to my gills, officer.
An acidic smile on her lips. It's getting worse every year.
What is entreprenetic?
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
Did they cross the Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings.
So,
successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
So chat, I do want to mention, like, I thought the setting was neat at first, but this is just fucking fascinating.
Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely.
So we just fucking... Okay, if we don't.
Then they don't.
How much Pale is there compared to the world?
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Wait, what?
What do you think, Detective?
Shrinking. It's growing. There's more and more Pale.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate.
Jesus.
An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
Cover everything that can be? Where would we go?
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
Off we go into the wild Pale yonder.
One and all. They say Pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave and the world get left behind?
There are just these massive pockets of entropy. 2 to 1 on the planet. Jesus!
Yes, sweet reality.
What the fuck?
But before we do, tell me, Detective. Is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good.
Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
What the fuck are these answers? Let's see. I'm worried. I have to say it doesn't sound very liberal of me. I don't know how you've all survived with it. It's a huge accomplishment. If I knew there were just giant pockets of entropy, unreality sitting that far out, that'd be terrifying. I mean, I guess you learn to live with it. I mean, ultimately, you were right. It's disco.
Mm-hmm.
Your ailing constitution, sweaty forehead, the beads there, and your heavy breathing.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
Investigation will be my masterpiece. The one they remember me by, I promise.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
I mean, even if she's not entirely on my side or 100% on the level, I do appreciate Joyce for humoring us at the very least and being pretty, I guess, forthcoming with her opinions, if nothing else. What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
The big time?
The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing. So he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, by liberals you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
Who was there to surrender to then?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals took everything.
The Liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The Coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Yo, Joyce, you don't sound super thrilled about that. Who are the Coalition?
The Coalition of Nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Like, her emphasis here raises some questions.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
So they exist to keep the status quo, not actually help people.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
I don't think I am a moralist, ma'am. If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am, and also not.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it.
Basically, Anahito.
The revolution began in 02 on the east side.
The answer is the moralists are a bunch of rich people who prefer things the way they are because they benefit the most from it than having things change in a way that's meaningful to the common man. If you really want to get into it.
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments.
Wow, really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Oh, Jesus Christ, though. Fucking prion disease. Jesus.
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in 08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
And then what came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
That is indeed terrifying, Naren. Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think. A city-state divided into free market zones under the
I have 5 hours to get,
of the Coalition of Nations,
let's say about 4 real on a good day.
Citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
Been like this for how long exactly?
43 years. Hard to fathom, I know.
And what have you been doing?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven. with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
You don't seem thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just... we could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
I asked you, who are you in all of this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
God, this is the question, ain't it? Chat, what would we have done? What do you think, chat? I don't know what I would have done. I don't know enough.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city.
The cold runs down your spine. She gestures toward the waters.
No, I would have fought with the communards.
The wind stops. There is silence on the dark water of the Martinez Inlet.
Then you would have died fighting against them. Long before the beachhead.
I don't know what they meant. Oh, I thought it meant alongside them.
Good question.
No, her first.
And and you would have died.
The cold runs down your spine.
Probably.
The wind stops. There is silence on the...
No, almost certainly. The commune would have forced you. Such was the fate of the undecided. They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. What world?
The camera of her mind glides.
Great bodies.
A frisson lifts the hair on the...
world of...
There is a term of Elysium. It does. A term of hatred that originates like many such... Oh. Great thing. We used to think...
Yeah, I didn't mean to go through this again.
A cold fear seeps into you.
You seem to be... They say there is a... I am so... But this is one of the greatest questions of our... You have missed... It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. But you're...
The cold, suddenly, you're conscious of yourself
Glad to have been of assistance.
Hey, about this alleged drug trafficking, what kind of ingredients are we talking about here?
Using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Wait, let me get this straight. The materials from Samara to Revachol through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter. North of... Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
Am I gonna need bolt
Unlike
cutters?
the officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Once the ingredients reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
It's no coincidence, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However...
Yes?
This is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed, thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
The cold breath rushes in from the bay, making its way down the alleyways and potholed streets. From Martinez to Jamrock, in the traffic you hear the clinking of glass vials, concealed beneath tarpaulin. Or is it just your teeth chattering in the cold?
Fucking misery.
A lot of it. It comes in from large Samaran factories in South Safre, Sigai, and Sinyao. The literage they must get from this terminal alone must be oceanic.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, I'll probe the drivers, sure.
It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic jam won't disperse for a few more days. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Okay, well, it's been nice talking to you, ma'am. I still need to find money, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. And that is the struggle right now. I don't know where to get money. I spent a lot of time talking to that lady and not any time making money. Oh, this is a problem. It's tempting. Taking more bribes is very tempting, you're correct. I think I know who to talk to, though. Not for money, but about the lorry thing. Hello, Pale Driver.
The woman is still hunted.
Huh? What is it? What do you want?
I think I know what's going on with you.
And what is that?
You're a Pale Driver. You transport goods through the Pale.
Oh, meu Deus. The lawman solved the case. And here I was, thinking you were an idiot. So, are you? An idiot, I mean?
I blacked out from a night of heavy drinking and lost all memory of the world.
Like Gabriel Buenguerro in Pergunte a Poeira. You're the opposite of me, then. I remember everything.
Wait, what?
Even things I never knew. The smell of liquor on Gabriel's lips after the shoot. In the motor park. The roses on the day of Franco Negro's coronation. On the grand stairs of Ryle.
Okay.
The smoke from the fowling piece when Dolores Day was shot. The look on her face, like an orgasm. The wound in her chest. My hand in my father's hand. Except I never had a father. And I never shot her innocent Dolores Day.
Over radiation?
Heroic doses, Hervé. Heroic.
Isn't that dangerous?
Thought insertion? Dithering? The Grad Catalan Magistral? It's more than dangerous. It's sad. But at first I had to make a living. Now...
It's the only thing you know?
When you've seen it all go away like that, rolling off like the sea, and then come back to this... What are we doing here? For thousands of years, Gabriel. It doesn't have to be like this. We can just give up. We can just become a baker.
What does it look like, the Pale?
Like looking into the ocean at night, in the dark. You cannot see it, but you know it's there. And it's big, bigger than anything. Bigger than all the other things combined.
What does it feel like?
Nothing. Until it starts. When you are deep enough. Then, for me, it's like autumn. Dark, grey and orange. The orange of street lights and the color of streets and electric light. It smells like autumn too. It smells terrible.
Nostalgia. Cooped up in the cabin, shaking. Terrible nostalgia. For yourself. For humans. It's too much to bear. She loves it.
How do you pass through it?
In the belly of an airship, behind the stair windows. So you don't look straight into it. It's not advised to look into it.
Wait, what? It's not on this lorry then?
No, the same one, a roller. They all are nowadays. Special wheels for connecting to the floor of the hold.
The wheels all small and round, multi-axle trailers.
One last thing, you said we can just become vapor?
Yes.
What? Also, I'm curious as to why the thing is, don't look into the pail. What does that mean? What happens if one stares into the pail? Feel I already have what you have in some way.
They say there is a point. One that I have not crossed. In the pail, super deep. If you stray too far, of course, on the U41A, or in Lomonosov's land, where every step you take is one step further from home, no matter the direction. It's a point you cannot come back from. Your mind becomes so radiant with the past, there is a flip. Instead of writing, it erases memory, nearing some kind of indescribable finale. Maybe you've been down the motorway south?
Yeah, probably, Naren. And it sounds like it gets worse the more time you spend there until your thoughts start unwriting themselves, which is horrifying. The motorway south.
It's a story as lone horsemen tell. Lone horsemen, Jerife, not pale drivers. Way beyond the established pale that's lit by radio frequencies, where it goes silent and dark, and the process begins, erasure, kilometer by kilometer, in any direction. The motorway south is a road you cannot come back from.
What's at the end of the motorway south?
No one knows what's at the end. I've only glimpsed the beginning. I've only felt it in the distance, when I was a child. A child rowing on the lake.
Ma'am?
Josiane.
There is nothing more to do now. She's far away. The woman.
Huh? What is
You know a thing or two about drugs?
What do I need drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary, no drugs can compare.
The adversary?
Yes. There is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no coming back from that hole.
As well as holes through the pail?
Oh, this sheriff is a smart one.
So what is it that you're hauling exactly?
You're man, Lowman. What of it?
Maybe this is another way. Are you smuggling drugs through Terminal B?
Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
Can you not know what you're hauling in your own lorry?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiris to Grad on the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramiris to Grad?
Drugs?
No, Lowman. Diamonds.
If you had to guess, who do you think would be smuggling drugs around here?
Easy. It's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
Then why are you still waiting here?
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the futures of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains.
Thanks for the help. I feel bad for that lady. I feel really bad for that lady. Yeah. Motorway south. Yeah, let's obliterate our visual calculus again. You know what? I think we're gonna call it here today, and then next time I can figure out how the fuck I'm going to come out of this money pit. He's like, man, I am potentially super fucked. Yeah, the pail does really recontextualize a lot of shit. But, Yeah. While we sit here, I can't sell my clothes, Zenora. I've tried. Cause yeah, let me solo. That's where we are right now. 1627. We are not in a good place. Either way, though. I need to figure out how the fuck to get money, though. We can do that on Wednesday. For the time being, I hope you had fun. I know I did. I'm still really digging this game, but also, holy shit, the Pale. The Pale's a lot to think about. You know, it really does recontextualize pretty much everything. And it's fascinating. So yeah, tomorrow is more Realms of the Haunting. But yeah, so I hope everyone has a good rest of the day, however much that might be. And in the meantime, think Pale thoughts.